Good morning, Newmarket Middle, my 7th grade honors students. I'm going to provide you with the notes for subtracting rational numbers. The first step we need to take here is to write down the rules for subtracting rational numbers, and it's just like we did for adding. For fractions, you want to find the LCD and then keep the denominators the same when you subtract. For decimals, you want to line them up and insert placeholders if needed. So placeholders, we're talking about those zeros. Okay, so when subtracting, we will use the additive inverse. Okay, to add the opposite, and then follow the rules for adding integers. Remember, we have our adding rules. So now, rewrite the problem to add the opposite. That's the word that goes in there. Then follow the rules for adding integers. So example, here is 7 minus 16. You would keep the 7, change to adding, flip to a negative 16. Then we can use our adding rules, same signs, add and keep, different signs, which is what we have. Subtract. 16 minus 7 is 9. And then keep the sign of the larger number. 16 is larger than 7, so it's a negative 9. I'll let you do those. Down the bottom here, rewrite the problem to add the opposite, just like we did for whole numbers up there. You do the same thing here for decimals. So 4.5 minus 6.3. You want to change this first to a addition problem. Find the additive inverse. And now you're going to subtract 6.3 minus 4.5. Even though there's a negative sign here, you're going to subtract the smaller number from the larger number. I'll have to borrow. And then keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number is 6.3, so we'll use the negative sign. Okay, now we're going to move over to page 2, or the back of your handout. The process for fractions is the same. Rewrite the problem to add the opposite. Then follow the rules for adding. So now we have the same denominators. We're going to change this to the additive inverse. We're going to subtract because they're different signs. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And keep the sign of the larger number. 4 is larger than 3, so we will have a negative 1/5. You can work the rest of those. And then we're going to come down here. Find a common, you got it, denominator. Rewrite the problem to add the opposite. Then follow the rules for adding. So we can use 6 as the common denominator here. Change the sign. Opposite of positive 2/3 is negative 2/3. Or, sorry, we're adding the I never found the common denominator. So if 3 times 2 is 6, then 2 times 2 is 4. We have negative 1/6. So now we have two fractions with the same signs. Same signs, add and keep. So I'll rewrite this to move it away from the directions up there. So same signs, they're both negative, so we're going to add 4 plus 1 is 5. And we're going to keep the sign, it's negative 5/6. So I'll let you work on the rest of these problems, and we will check our answers when we get back on Friday. All right, have fun today.